Since getting the GoPro, I've been experimenting with different ways to kind of bring some degree of content to, primarily the YouTube channel, but theoretically expanding from there. First, I tried doing a video where the camera was basically mounted post rigger on the deck, so a little close to the stern, which was alright. I didn't get very good audio from it, obviously, but taking the waterproof casing off didn't actually boost the audio that much. Right now the audio isn't actually that great, so if you have experienced like GoPro, either use a microphone of some sort or do what I'm going to do, which is going to be to rip the audio, amplify it, compress it, and then reinsert it into the video after, which is going to make it sound a little strange, but that's okay. Anyways, since that didn't work, it kind of made me think, okay, well, I need to find alternatives to this situation. What I basically decided on was to try and do a video like this where I'm sitting down and just talking about stuff. I figure that's a good way to kind of get things rolling and to isolate the fact that I can kind of control the audio. So it should just make it a lot easier for me, which is pretty good at this point in time, to be honest. Anyways, the way this is going to work is I'm going to approach topics and be able to talk about them in a way that actually makes sense. On the water, with the footage, I kind of had to pick out pieces here and there, and if I took like a 5-second clip here and there, it wouldn't really make sense in the larger scheme. And it's hard to like isolate tendencies, particularly when you don't have the camera like I did when I was in coach boat, where I could kind of pan around and change the angle. So for this, I can just like talk about it as if I was doing fireside stories. First topic that's going to come up, and this might be like a decent series, is sports psychology. Basically, when I was a junior, very little was coached in terms of sports psych, and similarly in university, I pretty much got nothing, which meant I kind of had to pick it up on my own. In Big City, I went to like one little conference, but other than that, it was very Sparkmanesque. So I just pushed as hard as you could all the time. We were told that racing and winning was 90% mental. We were never told how to get that. It was basically grit was the name of the game. Basically, you enjoyed what you did and you just pushed as hard as you could all the time. And it wasn't really explained, one, why we should be doing that, two, what benefit there was, and factors that would affect it, right? At any rate, since I've left, it really hasn't changed in any big way. In UVic now, like they had Jason Dorland come and give a talk, which is useful, but it's also from like a experiential way. Like he talks about his experience, and it has to be very small and relative to his situation, right? It talks about like macro or bigger strategies and not small tools. At any rate, there's a gap there, and like formal sports psychologists are more focused on general aspects of competition, coming into that sort of thing, how you get affected by overtraining to some extent, which is important, but generally like more abstract concepts, which isn't necessarily what's best for people performing in sport, people who actually live. You know, it's kind of, in some ways, by having these abstractions, it's very much divorced from real people and real tools. So I figure there's basically a gap there that I'm going to try and fill. I'm going to basically hammer through a bunch of strategies and ways to kind of get where you want, as well as kind of like real questions you should ask yourself, and basically try and build a sort of program that is fairly easy to understand, worth implementing, but also worth adopting. And that's to say that you don't cookie cutter it, but you take the concepts and you build upon them, reinforce them, but you also make them your own. You know, it's not going to work unless it works for you. And the adaptability of any concept to multiple people without it diluting the message is basically the strength of the message, right? So, at any rate, this is going to be hopefully worthwhile. This will be the intro video. I'll try and make one more today, and then go from there.